Why get so upset over simple facts and figures? How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick getting quite a few people triggered, upset, butthurt, whatever you want to call it, due to some comments he made over on Fox News about who's getting the shot and who is not, specifically. Now, before I jump into it, I just want to say this. I don't even agree with all of what he said in his very brief talk. I don't. However, the part people are mad at, the part people are calling racist, I don't think is worthy of being upset about, nor do I think is racist. Why? Is it because I'm a racist? No. Is it because I'm ignorant, uneducated? No, to both, to all of the above. It's because what he said, it's a fact. That's it. It's not a matter of how do you feel about it, how do you think about it. It is a fact, and that's all. Now, before I go any further, let's roll the clip. In this clip, you're going to see and hear Dan Patrick say what he said. After we get done watching that, I'll come back. I'll talk about what he said there. Then I'll give you my 2 cents, my deep, detailed analysis, and then I'll wrap it on up with a nice bow on top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Are coming after your state really quickly here, and as a response, coming after your state because the increased COVID numbers, hospitalizations, deaths are up in Texas, and there's a direct assault on your governor's policies and your state's policies. Very brief response.
Yeah. Well, Laura, the COVID is spreading, particularly most of the numbers are with the unvaccinated, and the Democrats like to blame Republicans on that. Well, the biggest group in most states are African Americans who have not been vaccinated. And the last time I checked, over 90% of them vote for Democrats in their major cities and major counties. So it's up to the Democrats to get, just as it's up to Republicans, to try to get as many people vaccinated. But we respect the fact that if people don't want the vaccination, we're not going to force it on them. That's their individual right. But in terms of criticizing the Republicans for this, we're encouraging people who want to take it, but they're doing nothing for the African American community that has a significant high number of unvaccinated
TikTok
people.
videos.
So they need to address that.
We got a lot of TikTok.
Yes.
All right, you saw that, you heard that. Now, where is the lie? Where is the lie as far as the part about black folks and getting the shot and not getting the shot? Where is the lie? Now, before we get to that specifically, let's go to this whole thing about, it's the unvaccinated spreading it. That part, I'm not necessarily on board with. I'm not really. Maybe the data could suggest that, but when you say something like that, you're kind of leaving out the fact that you can still catch and spread the virus even if you got the shot. You can still do it, and you can still go to the hospital and die. Now, the allegation, the assertion is if you have your shots, then you'll be less likely to go to the hospital and die. That is the allegation. However, the CDC, Rochelle Walensky, the NIH director, both say that the current shots that are out there are less effective because of the variant, and also because they've been out for a while. What, like 8 months? Now you're talking about getting booster shots. So I'm not quite sure that the vaccine is this panacea, this end-all be-all. I'm not saying he said that, but as far as, saying, well, the spreads among the unvaccinated, well, I'm not really sure that's the case. Among the hospitalized, probably so, but is it because of the vaccine? I mean, there was a study that came out from the CDC, and I'll place that on the screen also in the box, from back in March, that says 78% of those who were hospitalized in the U.S., not just in California, Texas, Florida, just the entire U.S., 78% of those in the hospital with the virus are obese. So let's include that in there rather than just saying unvaccinated. But I'll leave that there for now. I'm going to digress. I'm not trying to get kicked off the whole internet, but you guys know what's going on with that. I had to get it out there because I can't just dismiss that part because I agree with the other part of what he said. Now, let's get back to it. What Dan Patrick said here is correct about African Americans being the lowest vaccinated in the majority of states that are going to give you that information. That's just the reality. Now, people can speculate as to why it's the reality. You guys pretty much, if you watch me for a video or more, you pretty much know what I think. I think it's because we're skeptical of it. It's not a political thing. They want to make it be this left-right thing. It's not that. Because, as he pointed out, African Americans tend to vote 80, 90% Democrats. So if it's about conservative Republicans and their hesitancy and they're putting that much information, then why are black folks 90% Democrat hesitant? It's not even about politics. It's about, hey, I saw the Tuskegee experiment ended in the 1970s, and that was disastrous. I saw a bunch of other things after Tuskegee that affected a lot of black folks. That Purveyor clinical trials. I turn on my TV and I'm seeing stuff for asbestos commercials. A lot of black folks worked in the shipyard. Oh, it's safe. Asbestos is totally fine. And then they come up with mesothelioma and COPD years later. So, I mean, people are skeptical because they've seen it happen before. This is not their first rodeo. So it's not about politics. It's about, well, I've seen other things happen, things on the market that are brand new. They say, hey, it's safe. Don't worry about it. It's fine. And then they find out years later that it's not fine. We've seen it happen over and over and over again. Not just one incident at Tuskegee, which is most famous. We've seen it happen a lot. That is the primary reason why we don't really want to get it as far as African Americans. It's just the reality. That's just the truth. It's not a political thing. When you look at the white population in the United States, they are more vaccinated than the population percentage. And if it's about white conservatives, white Republicans, then why is that so? You know, their population is pretty much the same as the vaccination rate in America. Matter of fact, I have some information here. I have a couple charts. I think the people that may be talking about, you know, Trump supporters, you guys don't want to get it. They're referring to this particular, this chart right here on kff.org. And you see this little graph right here. They're pointing to this. Okay, they say vaccination rates in counties that voted for Biden and counties that voted for Trump, April to July 2021. And the blue line represents the Biden counties and the red one represents the Trump counties. Now, you can take a lot from this, but it's hard to really put race on it, number one. And it's also hard to put a particular political affiliation to it. It's hard to do that because, I mean, out of the counties that voted for Biden, what's the percentage of these people who are actually Biden voters? You understand? Because where I live right now, Tennessee, our county voted 50-50. Biden, Trump, pretty much. So how do you really, it eventually went Trump, but it's almost as close as a Biden county. So what do you really get from that? There's more data on KFF. Let's go to this one here. It has information about blacks, whites, everybody. And you can see this right here at the top. It says black people have received smaller shares of vaccination compared to their shares of cases and a total population in about half of states reporting data. It says that right there on the same website that has information about Biden counties being more vaccinated than Trump counties. It says it right here on the same website, kff.org. And I'll link to both of these charts, reports, whatever, in the description box below, right? And let's go to the white people because they're talking about, it's conservative white people. Right here it says white people received a higher share of vaccination compared to their share of cases in most states reporting data. Okay, I think Tennessee's an exception. 65% of vaccinations are white, but it's 77% of the population. But let's go to Texas right quick. Here's a whole graph. Let's go to Texas. Let's start with black so we can see what's going on with that, and then we'll just work our way on through it. So the first column, percent of vaccinations, meaning, okay, in Alabama, black folks are 25% of the vaccinated population. And that's right around the same population, 27%. So that's right around the same. It's a little bit lower than population, but right around the same. 30% of deaths, so that's like right in line with each other. And white in Alabama, 65% of the population, vaccinated 68% total population. It's about the same as blacks. And again, blacks vote 90% Democrat, whites 50-50. But there's not much of a difference as far as a ratio among vaccinated, unvaccinated, in the races. It's just not there. Let's go to Texas right quick and see what's going on with that, just to make Dan Patrick's case. So in Texas, they are 9% of the vaccinated population, 15% of the cases, 11% of the deaths, and 12% of the total population. So their population percentage is higher than their vaccinated population percentage in Texas. So is that Republicans' fault? Is that, again, 90% Democrat? Let's go to white people in Texas as well. So Texas, 38% of the population who are vaccinated are white, 32% of the cases, 42% of the deaths, and 41% of the total population. So 41 and 38 is not that much different than the blacks. And let's go to Hispanics, which are probably the largest population in Texas or close to it. And Texas, it's the same thing for Hispanics, 40% population, 35% vaccinated, 45% deaths. So where is the difference in between a highly Democratic population and a highly Republican population? So I'm saying the data is right here. The data is here. Now, news sites and some of these blogs or whatever, they're saying that he said that black folks are driving the surge. Nah, it's not it. It's just a matter of black folks are the least vaccinated in most of these states. That's just reality. You could call it racism, but it's not going to change the reality of the situation at all. The stats are there, the numbers are there. Look it up for yourself. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think what Dan Patrick said is incorrect, is racist? Whatever your thoughts on that are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. As far as the whole thing about, who's spreading it and who's not, that's a different story. But as far as who's vaccinated and who's not, the numbers are right there. What he said was correct. How is it racist? There is no racism there. People just make up things when they don't have a real thing to say, in my humble opinion. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.